We've all been using AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude for a while now, and you can ask it to do many things like write an email, but then it can't send it. You can ask them to research a product for you, but then it can't buy anything for you. You can have it plan your entire week, but it can't actually put anything on your calendar. So in the end, these tools are incredible at giving you information, but they fall short on the execution. And that's where agent harnesses like Nous Research's Hermes comes in. These harnesses wrap AI models with real tools such as the ability to browse the web, read-write access to your files, messaging apps, and more in order to give you the ability to take real actions and run real tasks based on the instructions that you've given it. Hermes goes one step further than most harnesses because it actually builds its own memory and skills using an automatic learning loop. When it's finished with a complex task that you've asked of it, it'll write itself a skill based on what it's learned. It'll save it to a reusable file, and then it'll refine that skill every time that you run it. Hermes builds a 3-layer memory system across sessions, which remembers what happened, who you are, and how you like things done. So in that sense, the longer that you use Hermes, the better it becomes. Hi, I'm Calum, and today we're going to deploy Hermes on Akash Network using the agent platform at agents.akash.network. And the entire process takes less than 10 minutes and requires only 4 things from you to get started, and I'm going to show you exactly where to find those things today. But before we get into it, I'd like to talk about why you'd want to run your agents on a cloud service like Akash in the first place. Why not just run it locally on your machine for free? Why pay about $5 a month to host it with Akash? The biggest reason that I can give you is isolation. An AI agent that can execute commands, read your messages, and take actions on your behalf is very powerful. But you don't want that running on your personal laptop with access to everything that is on your machine. When you deploy on Akash, what you're doing is you're spinning up a dedicated cloud instance that is completely separate from your personal files, your private keys, and private photos. You're forced to be very intentional about what data that you hand over and what credentials that you give it. And if something goes wrong, this is new technology, you can simply close your deployment and walk away. Your local machine was never exposed, it was never at risk. On top of that, your agent will run 24/7 regardless of whether or not your local machine is on or off. You could be out walking in the streets and talk to your agent on your phone. And if you ever want to spin up additional agents for whatever use cases that you can think of in the future, it doesn't necessarily require you to run out and buy some new hardware right away to get started. You can have infinite amount deployed on Akash. The first thing we're going to do is go to the Akash Agents platform, which is our agent launching platform, and that's at agents.akash.network. Once you're here, you'll see that you can choose between 2 agent engines, between Hermes or OpenClaw. Today, we're talking about Hermes, so we're going to choose that. Down here, you're going to be able to select any of the models that Akash ML hosts, and I'm going to go with Gemma 4 since that's the latest and greatest. And down here are the 4 items that we need before we can launch our agent. The first thing we're going to need is our Console API key, which will give this platform the right or the ability for it to launch deployments on our behalf using our Akash Console account. And then you'll need your Akash ML API key, which is what's going to power the Gemma 4 or whatever model you pick and gives your agent its intelligence, its reasoning capabilities. And then we're going to go create a Telegram bot, which is the way that we're going to be able to talk to our agent via Telegram. And once we create this bot, we want to lock that bot down. We don't want anyone else to talk to it except for the owner of the bot, which in this case is myself. And I'm going to go and find our Telegram user ID, not to be confused with the username. And we're going to input that here as well. And then that will lock this bot that we create only to talk to us so that no one can go talk to it and then increase our API bills because they're running up the searches, right? So let's get started. We're going to go to console.akash.network. So here I'm already logged in, but if you're a new user, you'll have to sign up with an email. And when you do that, you are going to be entered into a trial account. So what this trial account does is 2 things. The first thing that's going to do is going to give you $100 in trial credits. Now this number might go lower by the time that you're doing this. So, if you catch it quick, go for it fast. And the second is that your deployments are going to close every 24 hours. Now, this is a restriction if you're looking to have a long-term Hermes agent. So the idea here is that if you test it and you like it, then I would go ahead and get rid of the trial account status. And to do that, all you have to do is top up $20 into your account. And that will not only remove the trial status from your account, but it'll also make any trial credits that you have left over permanent. So trial credits are usually expiring after a month. You top up, it's going to be yours to keep forever. So currently it's $120 of credits in total for $20, which I think is a pretty good deal. So jump on that if that is you. So once you log in, you got everything done, then you can go to your mouse over to your username here, and then you can go to API keys. And then here you'll have access to the API key. So I'm going to go ahead and create the API key. This is going to be my Hermes walkthrough API key. And now the general advice is don't share this key with other people, but I'm going to be deleting this right after, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. So we're going to go and enter the console API key here. The next thing that we need is going to be the Akash ML API key. So here I'm going to go to akashml.com. Same thing here. If you're a new user, you're going to have to sign up. When you sign up, you're going to get $25 in free credit spend. So that's nice. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the playground here. I'm already logged in. So what you would need to do is go to settings here and go to API keys. And here you can go ahead and create a new API key. I'm going to go call this Hermes walkthrough API key and then create that. Nice and easy. We're going to go back to the Akash agent platform, paste that in. And then the last thing that we need, or the last two things that we need, is going to be Telegram related. So we are going to have to talk to a bot called the bot fodder in order to create a new bot for our agent to talk to us with. So I'm going to click that. And once I click that, it's going to ask me to open my Telegram. I'm going to say yes. And here is the bot fodder. And there are two ways to talk to bot fodder. You can open for like an applet if you like. So you have a choice applet or through the chat bot. So I'm just going to go ahead and talk to the chat instead. So here's going to give you a list of commands that you can do. So I'm going to go with new bot because we're going to create a new one. And then it's going to ask me to name my bot. And so I'm going to call it the Hermes walkthrough bot. So whatever username you pick, it has to end with bot, which is how the Telegram makes sure that differentiates between bot and users. And says it's good. Now I can choose a username. So I guess I'm going to call it the Hermes bot. Hermes bot. Okay. Purposely spelled wrong so that nobody else would have. Oh no, somebody already has. Okay, Hermes 10, 20, 39 bots. Okay. There. Congratulations. My new bot has been created, and this is the API key that I have. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that API key, and I'm going to put it into the platform to launch. And then the last thing I need is going to be the user ID for the Telegram that I have. So you just click the get ID here, and then you'll be able to chat with another bot. You can start here, and all you have to do is type any message. So you don't even have to type a message. So that is going to be my key. I'm probably going to block that out for privacy reasons, but don't mind that. So I'm going to post that in. Once again, one more reminder, this is not your user ID. This is your user ID, is not your username, so please don't put your username in there. It won't work. You need a numerical user ID in order for it to work. And after you're done here, you're going to hit the deploy agent, and then the whole process is going to start. This process probably take about a minute or two, but I'm not going to make you wait, so I'm going to go pause the video and come back when it's done. All right, now after about a minute, it's done. It gives me the option to talk to my bot, which I named Hermes 1039 bot. So I'm going to go ahead and click that button, and here it is, Hermes walkthrough bot. I'm going to start the conversation, and here it's going to say that there's no home channel set, so I'm just going to go and set the home channel. And what this does is going to say that this bot is where the agent is going to go and talk to me on a regular basis. So here you can see that it's thinking, and it's going to go set the home. And then after that, it's going to say, I can help set up your home location. Please send me your address or Google bot. So I'm not going to do that. But the idea is maybe I can talk to it. Hi, my name is Calum. Your name is Jarvis. How are you? And let's see what it says to that. Oh, I think the idea is that I'm supposed to do a set home. I thought I did that, but I did not. But let's see. Okay, so perfect. It now says that, hi, Caleb, it's nice to meet you. I'm doing great. Perfect to be called Jarvis. How can I help you today? So that will be it for this tutorial. Now, from here on out, you can do many things, and there are going to be other tutorials out there that can teach you how to utilize this, but that is not in the scope of this video. In future videos, I'm going to be using this for my own personal business, so hopefully you guys will be around to watch that as well. But for now, I think this is good as it is. And so the last thing I want to show you is going back to the platform here. You have this bot that's already launched, right? This agent. And the last step is, how do we close that off? If we're done with it, if for whatever reason it breaks, or we just don't want it anymore, right? And so here is an option that you can click close. However, there's one issue. This agent's platform does not remember any data. So down here it says that data is not saved. So refreshing the page will result in losing all of your information. And now I don't expect you to keep this page open forever. So I'm going to refresh it. You're going to see that all the information disappeared. And so how do we close our agent? Well, to do that, we go back to console.akash.network. And here, if we go to our deployments section over here on the left, then you'll see here that I have this running. This is the newest one, and it's running at $1.42 a month. Nice. Okay, so this is my Hermes bot, and so all you have to do if you want to close it is just hit close here, and then that's it. Your bot is gone, and just to prove that, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my bot here and say hi again, and you'll see that it won't talk to me anymore. So that's it basically. Oh, maybe it didn't close in time. Maybe it will talk to me. Let's give it a second. But I think at this point the deployment is done, so we're not going to get a response back. There it is. Okay, perfect. So this is how you start up your agent and how you've closed your agent. So that is the full loop. And I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and hope to see you again for some more.